When people talk about the best players to ever grace a football pitch, names such as Pelé, Messi, Ronaldo, and Diego Armando Maradona come to mind. The thing that puts Maradona above the rest in the conversation is that he won Argentina a World Cup all on his own in 1986. It seemed that the world was at Maradona's feet. However, he might have dazzled on the pitch, but off it, he was a destructive force for all the wrong reasons. Eventually, Maradona's demons would chase him down and inside the field of play. What's up, guys? We Talk Football here, and welcome back to our We Talk Throwback series. Today we look at the story of Diego Maradona, his rise to success, and where it all went wrong. Despite all his issues, Maradona is still widely considered the greatest player to ever step foot on a football field. He was one of the two joint winners of the FIFA Player of the 20th Century award. Maradona's vision, passing, ball control, and dribbling skills were combined with a small 5'5" frame, which made it easier for him to maneuver better than most other footballers. Maradona was the first ever player in football history to set the world record transfer fee twice. First with Barcelona for a then record fee of $5 million, and second when he transferred to Napoli for a then record transfer fee of $6.9 million. He played for Argentinos Juniors, Boca Juniors, Barcelona, Napoli, Sevilla, and the Newell's Old Boys. However, he is most famous for his time at Barcelona and Napoli, where he won numerous accolades. In 1983, under coach Cesar Luis Menotti, Barcelona and Maradona won the Copa del Rey, Spanish Super Cup, and the Copa de la Liga, though that competition lasted only 4 years and was cancelled in 1986. Due to illness and injury as well, Maradona had a difficult time in Barcelona. First, a bout of hepatitis, and then a broken ankle caused by an ill-timed tackle, which threatened to jeopardize Maradona's career. But fortunately, with treatment and therapy, it was possible for him to return to the lineup after a 3-month recovery period. The end of the 1983-1984 season included a violent and chaotic fight in which Maradona was heavily involved in at the 1984 Copa del Rey final against Athletic Bilbao. This was the beginning of the end for Maradona's spell at Barcelona. In fact, the brawl was so bad that one of Barcelona's executives stated that when he saw those scenes of Maradona fighting and the chaos that followed, he realized that Barcelona could not go any further with him. Maradona got into many disputes with Barcelona's executives, specifically Josep Luis Núñez, with a demand to be transferred out of the Camp Nou in 1984. During his 2 injury-hit seasons at Barcelona, Maradona managed to score 38 goals in 58 games. He then transferred to Napoli in Serie A. The rest was history. Maradona arrived in Naples and was welcomed by 75,000 fans at his presentation in the Stadium São Paulo. The fans were convinced that their savior had arrived in Maradona. The Argentine was set to go through an adventure with Napoli, where the people would treat him like a god. However, being sold to a club based out of one of the most violent cities in all of Italy meant that there were always going to be some controversial problems along the way for Maradona. Supposedly, the local mafia had also funded Maradona's near $7 million transfer to Napoli, something which was denied by the club's president. While the 1986 World Cup and the Hand of God moment against England is arguably considered his greatest achievement, his 2 Serie A titles with Napoli have to be just as important, as it was something that immediately turned attention to Italian football, since it was the only 2 Serie A titles Napoli won to date. While the people of Naples were celebrating their arrival in their star player Maradona, his decline was happening far away from his admirers. He started forming relationships with local members of the mafia, spending time with them partying and snorting cocaine. After taking a few days to get back to his normal self, Maradona would play again and not show signs of a player who had ultimately become an addict. By 1989, after leading Napoli to their only European trophy, the Argentine requested the club to transfer him. This was a request from someone who was on the verge of a breakdown, essentially settling into an addiction that there was no escaping from. Corrado Ferlano, Napoli's president, would reject Maradona's transfer request. In 1990, Italy hosted the World Cup, and Argentina were the reigning 1986 World Cup champions. The Argentine knew that he would get a lot of stick from the fans in Italy, but the semi-final against Italy was actually at Napoli's Stadio San Paolo and was going to be a homecoming for Maradona. He also went on and invited local fans to support Argentina, which wasn't taken well upon Italians. Argentina went on to knock out Italy and reach a 2nd consecutive World Cup final, which they would eventually lose against West Germany. Upon Maradona's return to Naples, things were starting to change, and Maradona experienced the fury of Italy. Rejected, unloved, the Argentine dug a hole so deep for himself. He was a star, but not a star that shined as bright as it could have, as some people still say Maradona didn't live up to his full legacy. He was loved unconditionally in Argentina despite what he's done. He returned to Boca Juniors in Argentina and insisted that FIFA had deliberately ruined his career. After Napoli, Maradona looked like a shadow of his former self. He was clearly not capable of dealing with two different lives, as his alter ego was a master of his own downfall and eventually took over his body to the point that there was pretty much nothing left of his original self. On one side, you saw someone who mastered his own downfall, getting involved with the mafia, as well as being addicted to drugs. On the other side, you saw arguably perhaps the greatest player to ever grace a football pitch, and who put their heart and soul on the pitch week in and week out. He was also remembered as a great example of how corruption can ruin literally everyone and anyone. Maradona peaked at a very early age, and it's a story of a football mastermind who just threw everything away and even threw his chance to really cement his legacy and truly become football's greatest ever. Napoli's last Serie A title came in the 1989-1990 season, where Maradona was still playing with them. In fact, Maradona led Napoli to the only 2 Serie A titles they have to date. Messi has also struggled to come out of Maradona's shadow, main reason being the 1986 World Cup Maradona won with Argentina. Something Messi hasn't achieved, which perhaps is the greatest achievement a footballer could wish for. In all honesty, the story of Diego Maradona is one of the greatest tragedies in all of football history. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and let us know if there's any more tragic players that we could do for our We Talk Throwback series, which will be coming out every other Thursday. See y'all next time.